What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Social Media Mindset. And I am so pumped for today because I've got an unbelievable guest on. He spoke at an event. I wish I could say that I spoke at. I sat on a panel. He actually spoke as one of the keynotes. And as a guy that's been to a ton of events and heard a ton of people talk, he was one of the best I've ever heard. Incredibly practical, made everything very simplistic and easy to understand. He's funny. And so, guys, I am so excited to welcome Austin Armstrong to the show. Bro, welcome.
Kyle, you're making me blush, brother. I appreciate you. Happy to be here.
So just so everybody knows, because here's what's wild. I didn't know who you were before SocialCon, which is why I thought SocialCon was amazing, because it opened my world up to a bunch of new people that are doing really cool things that I need to be paying attention to. And so you were one of those people. You are the CEO of Socialty Pro. You've, in the last few months, you've released another company that you're the CEO of, Syllabi.io, which we just got, I think, 3 days ago. My team just jumped on there.
Hey,
and so I want to talk about that a little bit, but man, where I want to start is, I usually save this for the end, but for some reason with you, I want to ask it in the beginning. You do a ton of interviews. You're on a lot of podcasts. You put out a lot of content. You get to speak on a lot of stages. What is the one thing that people don't ask you about enough?
Whoa, that's a good question. They don't ask me enough. I think. So I do a lot, and I think nobody ever asks me, like, how do you do it all? Where do you find the time? And I think those are important things to talk about. My schedule is not as impressive as one might think it is for how much I do, because I don't have kids. So
that changes everything. So let's jump into that, because so just so people understand, right? Like, you're the CEO of at least two companies. There may even be other ones out there that you're like, people don't even know that I also have this and that, whatever. You have millions and millions of followers across Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, right? All the places that we all want to be. You're creating content all the time. And so for the average person, that when I say, hey, you should think about making a video a week, and they go, how am I supposed to have time for that?
Mm-hmm.
Talk us through that, man. Like, how do you do all this?
Yeah, you have to build out systems, and you can't just think immediately that you can get started and you're going to be able to output the same as me, because I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing social media for 18 years. I've been in business for 4 years, and you start somewhere and you just keep stacking and building upon that. One of the biggest things for me is, I like to call it outsourcing my suck. So there's a lot of things that I don't like to do. And really what I'm passionate about is just being a creator. It's all I want to do. All I want to do is jump on podcasts like this, speak on stage, and create content every day. And so naturally I can't do that immediately, right? But so I built up my business. I did a lot of stuff at first. You get to that point where you can outsource some of the things that you don't like to do, or that can be done more efficiently by a dedicated person. And you begin to hire for all of these things. My agency is pretty much self-sustaining at this point, and it's gotten that way from 4 years. And now the other side of things with Syllabi as well, it's a hiring process, and you have to be okay with letting go of some of the things that you do day to day in your business, and realize that it's okay. Other people can do the job. In fact, most of the time, they're going to do it better than you can, because they're solely dedicated on that one thing. So you can free up your schedule to do more of what you love to do. And so that has been the secret for me, is I just, rather than just hoarding everything and saying, yeah, I can do every single role, and technically I would be able to pay myself a lot more money, but at what expense? I wouldn't have the time. I wouldn't have the freedom. I would be spread too thin. I couldn't focus on the bigger picture things of scaling and growing the company and leaning into what I love to do. And wherever you're starting at, if you can consistently create one video per week. Start there, stay consistent with it, batch it ahead of time if you want to or you need to. It just means take one day a week or one day a month, knock out as many videos as you can, schedule them out or save them in your drafts and upload them once a week or whatever your consistency is. And then let that be your new norm, and then stack upon your new norm until you get to where you want to go.
Yeah. So I want you to break down, because I love outsource the suck. I think that's awesome. So many entrepreneurs, like if we're not careful, we spend so much time in the things we hate and also aren't good at. And then it robs us of our joy and energy to then even want to do the things that we are good at. Right. And so that's powerful in and of itself. But in content creation specifically, talk about a system that you have in place that helps you either be consistent with creating the content or be efficient with actually posting the content, because so many people create it, but then it never leaves their camera roll. Is there a system inside of content creation that helps you execute at the level you do?
Sure. So there's a couple things that I want to touch upon. Firstly, perfectionism is procrastination. So you don't need to be a perfectionist. In fact, it's killing your consistency. Just post it. Don't worry if it's perfect. You don't need all of this ridiculous gear. You don't need the perfect lighting. You don't need the perfect setup, all of this stuff. Just post the video and improve 1% every single video. So that's a mindset shift for you.
I love it.
Now, how I create content is chaos, and I don't recommend it. I'll share it with you.
Okay.
But as far as systems go, that's all on the agency side of things. So we have a dedicated account and success manager that talks and holds the hand of all of the clients, make sure we get all of that content, passes it off to our video editor. The video editor edits everything, organizes everything into a spreadsheet, a content calendar, quality control, and everything is done on that. That gets passed off to our social media account manager that actually does all of the posting and optimization on the accounts. And then we review it and send analytic reports. So that's our pipeline and system that we have in place. Now, how I create content is on a whim. I've just done it so many times over the last 4 years, starting on TikTok. I've posted 2 to 3 videos a day, and I've barely missed any days. I'm at about 3,000 videos posted. So I'll let you do the math there. I've just got it down. When I get an inspiration for a piece of content or I need to get something out, I have my systems in place. I create a lot of, and these systems are for me, I create a lot, like 90% is useful websites that you need to know. So I have my opening hook. I list out the 5 websites that I'm going to share, typically in a Google Doc. It's nothing fancy. I have website, and then I list a reaction because I do the like conversation, talking to myself style video, because that's really for me. So opening hook, reaction, website 1, reaction, website 2, reaction, etc. So I have my outline. Then I just record it on my phone on each individual clip basis. And again, nothing fancy. The only equipment that I use is a ring light for my short form vertical video content. Okay. I hold the phone up to my screen, record from, it's not even recording on my phone as far as like screen record. I just hold the camera up to my computer screen and press record. I then edit it typically in CapCut. I love CapCut, free editing app on your phone. I don't edit anything on the computer anymore because it's just a streamlined, fast process. So I edit it in CapCut. I add hard-coded subtitles within CapCut. Just click of a button, voice to subtitles, and then you can customize them as you want. Export and then upload. And because I've done that so many times across all of these platforms, it's just second nature. The whole process takes me 20-ish minutes, maybe 30 minutes tops. And I'm a very ADHD entrepreneur as well. I always got to do something else. So I'll be working and I'll be like, oh, I'm a little bored. I need a break from this. Let me create a short video. And then I go into video creation mode and do all of that and post it and then get back to work. And that's chaotic. Not everybody can follow that flow, but it's what works for me.
It's powerful because I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem as chaotic as you might say it to be. And maybe because I create content too, I don't know, like it doesn't seem overwhelming. I think what's immensely evident with what you do is you've just been so committed to the process that it's now second nature. Like one of the thing that stood out to me the most at SocialCon was when you said, when you started doing YouTube shorts, that it was 600 videos before you started seeing any traction there.
Yep.
And bro, I've got people that are going, I tried video and it just wasn't for me. And I go, whoa, when you say you tried video, what does that mean? And every one of them is, I did 5, I did 9, I did 12. So can you talk for just a minute about several things? One, why people are so quick to quit something that doesn't instantly yield them what they hope to get from it? And then is there like a mindset unlock that you've done with some of your clients that are just so averse to being in front of the camera and you've truly helped them overcome that discomfort?
Yeah, so there's a couple things there. Yeah, a good mindset shift in general is consistency over time trumps everything else, in my opinion. There will always be people that get faster results than you, that are more natural on camera than you, that have more connections than you, have more money than you, et cetera. All of these things, right? But if you can just stay consistent, focus on the macro, not the micro. Think about the big picture.
Yeah.
You get even 30 days. Like I love to tell people take a 30-day challenge, but oftentimes that's not enough to really build consistent momentum. Just this is a new thing that you do. This is your life now.
Yeah.
Create content. Stop worrying about it. It's going to work for you in the long run. Shut up and just keep doing it. Just like everything in life. It's like getting reps in at the gym. You go to the gym for 30 days, you're going to see a little bit of traction, but it's not, the gym wasn't for me. I gave it a shot. I'll never be fit. It's because you didn't stick with it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Yeah. Consistency over time. You just have to put in that time and ask yourself, how bad do you want it? I wanted it really freaking bad. I've been doing this for 18 years, since I was 14 years old.
Wow.
And really, I've had some little wins here and there. I had wins back on MySpace when I started, but really the success has come in the last 2 years. And that's the long game. So many people have gotten success faster than me, have blown up faster than me, but nobody can out hustle me. And I'm just getting started. I'm excited to see what happens another 18 years from now. Who knows? Because I'm not slowing down. But as far as getting clients to see that, we were chatting about this at SocialCon. So a lot of my professional background is in the behavioral health space, therapists, addiction treatment centers, psychologists, and they're not inherently comfortable on camera. They stare into that soulless black eye of the lens and they freeze up and they're like, the endless possibilities of the internet and where this could go. But they talk to people all day. They're comfortable talking to people. And just the simplest hack that we've learned to get out of your own way of being afraid of creating content on camera is just have somebody press record or hold the phone if you're doing vertical video and have your eye line right above the camera or right next to the camera. And you can even ask the professional, the talent, a question, and then they respond to you. They're looking at you rather than the camera. You just happen to be holding the camera. But that is a great mindset shift that has helped so many people, is just don't worry about the camera. Talk to the person holding the camera.
So good. And I see you do this. There's several people in my realm that are doing this too, is in a lot of your videos, you're not addressing the camera at all, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're doing characters. And so you're literally looking like this. So I've noticed that if I can get people to really feel like the camera's not there, because now you're not even looking anywhere near it.
Yeah.
Are you cool with y'all's clients, if they want to do that off camera conversation? Do you find that effective?
Heck yeah. It's funny. This has become a whole subgenre. Yeah, I do the back and forth as if I'm talking to myself. But something that I've noticed is like people are creating content where it looks like a fake podcast and they're staring off into the distance as if they were talking to somebody. But in reality, there's literally nobody there.
I create this content
Yeah.
Like when I do podcasts and I'm like, dude, that was so good. After we're done recording, I'll prop my camera up and then act as if I'm actually delivering it into the podcast, but there's not a podcast.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, it's an interesting psychological thing because it puts you in a different mindset shift. It's like you're watching a podcast rather than watching somebody talk at you. You're listening into a conversation. So it's very much a mindset shift in content, and it's fascinating. But it works.
It is fascinating. And I just think like whatever it takes the individual to do the work, like ideally, I wish you'd look into the camera as if we're having coffee, and you're going to glance away sometimes because if you and I are having coffee and I'm just like this the whole time, like that's super weird. But
real quick side note on that. There's in NVIDIA, the graphics card processor is rolling out, or they rolled out this new AI software that it tracks your face for video. So you can look down and away, but it still positions your face as if it's staring on camera.
I've seen that.
Which is
That's
super
so
weird.
Crazy.
And I can't help but imagine, because it does cause a problem, right? Like for eye contact, right? Like I'm looking at you on the computer, but I'm not looking at the mic, but that creates that weird thing.
Yeah.
And so this helps with eye contact in theory. But now, could you imagine a Zoom call mid-pandemic, 20 people are on the call and everybody's just staring straight ahead as a robot? It looks like super like unreal. It's
very creepy.
Yeah.
But it's always, because I want to talk about AI in a minute, but whatever that is, as creepy as it may be, we needed to create that so that whatever the next thing can come. So I'm sure over time, they're going to figure out how to humanize it and make it less weird and awkward. But we need weird and awkward to get beyond weird and awkward.
Yep.
And I think that's what I want people to understand that listen to the podcast is like, you can't not be weird and awkward when you start this journey. I think it was London I think he spoke the day before you got there.
Yeah.
But he showed his first video he ever did. And it's hilarious. And now the kid's got 10 million followers on TikTok and has probably more money than I'll ever see in my life. And it all started by just a willingness to be stupid in front of the camera.
Yeah, that's the case with every big creator. You look at Mr. Beast, who's the most followed person on the internet. His first videos suck. They're terrible. Right. They're terrible. Gary Vaynerchuk, another great entrepreneur video guy. His early videos, terrible. He was reviewing wine. It's trash.
Oh yeah,
garbage.
So real quick then on this subject, why? Because I've yet to see anyone that's doing well on the internet that has an incredible first anything, right? Like I really just don't even think it exists.
No.
If we know that to be true, why is it that you, Gary V, right, Sean Cannell, who I've seen you talk about in your videos, right, any of these people, why is it that we all know what the truth is, but you're willing to do it, and then the rest of the people are not?
Fear.
Yeah.
It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of commitment. It's fear of other people coming into the comments and making fun of them, the trolls, which is just a part of content creation. It's the fear of their friends and family members seeing their early stumbles and judging them in real life. And when you get out of your own way and say, who cares? And anybody that's going to make fun of you for that is really coming from a place of their own personal insecurities anyway.
Yep.
Just create content. You're doing something with your life. Your message matters. You have information that can help and inspire other people. Don't let the negative what ifs get in the way of that. You are enough. Get started, get creating.
Bro, you can't see it because I'm standing, but my little whiteboard right here, it says you were born enough on it.
I love that.
That is what I believe, right?
Yeah.
I don't think any of us lack anything.
No.
We just all get different call times to the stage.
Yeah.
And some come earlier than others.
Yep. 100%.
So I was laying in bed this morning with my wife. I was telling her about our podcast today, and I was like, honey, you got to see this guy. I don't know why he said yes to come on my show. I'm so excited and nervous. and I've got to show you what he does in his videos. And because you talked about this social con and you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier, right? The fear that we have of being trolled. You've hacked into this trolling the trolls where you put things out there that you know will get trolled. And the reality of what's happening is those trolls are fueling your algorithm. They're pouring gasoline on your videos.
Yep.
And because they're like, you misspelled that word. Hey, you've got a folder back there that says Trump nudes. Dude, talk us through, because I was rolling thinking about this as you were talking about it. And I love it for so many reasons. So talk about like how that's an engagement hack and what you do and all that.
Yeah. So I want everybody to just quickly think about if you've ever done anything wrong in your life or content, what are people quick to do? They're quick to correct you. They're quick to assert their egos. And oftentimes, if you make a post online and you make a typo or there's a grammatical error in there, what happens? The grammar Nazis run to the comments. It's a term for a reason. Right?
Yeah.
And so all of these platforms don't care about if it's positive engagement or negative engagement. They just want engagement. And it's so much easier to get negative engagement because people love to correct you. They love to assert themselves. They love to assert their egos and explain why they're right and you're wrong based on whatever reason it is. And oftentimes it's their own personal anecdotal evidence. And I could go off on a tangent on that. Like we work with doctors and whatnot, and they're like, based on my personal experience, you're wrong. Your entire medical history and experience is wrong. It's like ridiculous.
It's unbelievable.
Right? And at some point I had a little epiphany about that. I had made an unintentional error, and I think the video went viral because I mispronounced a word or something. And I was like, oh, there's something here. The trolls, can I leverage this? Can I use this as a test? And I'm always testing things online. And so I started incorporating this. I started mispronouncing words on purpose. I started messing up my hair in videos and making my glasses all weird. I've put like something on my teeth before. I will share the folders, like you said. So I share a lot of useful websites, and I'll put something very suspect below. And so it causes people to run to the comments and say, anybody else see this thing, or correct you on this thing. It causes them to rewatch the video to make sure that they saw what they think they saw first. Increases my engagement, increases my view duration, rewatch rate, views, and everything goes through the roof because the subject matter of my videos is actually helpful. It's educational. It's designed for a specific audience that will help them with something. And because it's easier to get that negative engagement, helps me reach more people. So don't worry about the trolls. And if you have a physical thing that you're self-conscious about, you can set up comment filters so you don't even see those things. Out of sight, out of mind. You don't have to take it as far as I can, but think about little strategies that you can do to increase your engagement. Another quick one that I'll do is I'll say 5 useful websites and I'll only show 4 on purpose. Drives people crazy. They're like, where's the 5th website? And they rewatch it to make sure that there's only 4 or 5. But yeah, these things work. It's engagement gold mines.
So I love this so much. I think it forces us to get out of our shells and honestly take ourselves a little too seriously. Because I remember SocialCon, right after you finished, Q&A started, and Jeff's first question was, man, you're putting these folders like as Easter eggs and just the backgrounds of your videos for like real estate agents and mortgage lenders. Isn't that like unprofessional? And that's the first question in our industry. And I would imagine the industry that you came out of with doctors, and obviously they're not trying to be funny in videos necessarily. And so is there a balance between like you being silly and you being serious, or have you just fully embraced like, this is who I am, this is my personality? If people are offended by it, you're probably not my people. Like how do you sort through that?
Yeah, for me personally, yes, this is who I am. I'm a goof. I make the dumb dad jokes on the fly. I'll randomly make something a song, and it annoys the shit out of my wife. Pardon my language. I don't know where on your podcast.
But, oh yeah, you can cuss on here.
That's just who I am. I'm a weirdo. I'm a goof. I'm authentic. And the more that you lean into that authenticity, the more that you're going to attract the right people. People will see that on authenticity. You're not putting an act on. It helps you prevent burnout, creator burnout, which is a real thing too. If you're always putting on an act and not being yourself,
Yeah.
you can only do that for so long. So just embrace who you are and lean into it. Now, naturally, there is a professional element for certain industries. And so you don't have to go as extreme into that, but think about like little Easter eggs or recurring things that you can do that brings your regular viewers in on an inside joke or a recurring thing that can increase engagement. I met a great guy at SocialCon that gave a very G-rated answer to this. He had this little stuffed animal wolf called Wolfie. I don't know if you saw this guy.
Oh, yeah.
So all of his content, he's got this little stuffed animal doll. And so I'm like, oh, this is a perfect G-rated answer to this. In every video, he could hide that little stuffed animal somewhere in the background. And it's a game of where's Wolfie in every single. Look out. He's in weird positions. What's the elf thing that?
Yeah, elf on a shelf.
Elf on a shelf, right? And so you got him on a fan, you got him sipping a beer in the background. Something silly, just working little. It doesn't have to be crazy or extreme or unprofessional. I do it in a fun way that I crack myself up when I look at when I add these folders. I'm like, oh, this is so stupid.
And I was going to ask you, and you answered it by talking about Wolfie, right? Like in the real estate space, a lot of videos that are being done are home tours.
Mm-hmm.
And they're done so bad. They're so boring.
Yeah.
And so that would be like, take an animal, pick an object that makes it identifiable to you, hide it in the house somewhere, and you do it enough times. And then you put in the comments like, hey, what room was such and such in?
Yeah.
And you get 20 videos into that. And now it's like a game show.
Yeah.
And people can't wait to engage it and be a part of what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I also remember, so two other quick examples, and maybe this is a little too extreme for the real estate crowd, but just to play a little, I brought up another example on stage that there was a viral listing on Redfin maybe a year or two ago. And it looked like a normal listing. You're scrolling through the photos, beautiful house. But then in the basement, there was all these, it was like a sex dungeon down there. There was all of these like crazy devices that
oh my gosh,
weird whips and stuff hanging on the wall. And so what did it do? It went viral. Everybody shared that thing. It went crazy. Everybody was talking about it. So you could do something like that. I saw another really funny video ad the other day where they left a lot of stuff open to imagination. And it was so fun. So it was a shower head that had like pulsating water. And so it was guys and girls, and they were going through the highlights, and they're like, yeah, I love the pulsating on this. It just vibrates really fast. I love using it on my hair, and I love using it on my, and then they cut to another scene. So it just leaves it up, and they did it like 4 or 5 times. So it's like, it's a joke. It's open to the imagination, but it's really funny. It's really funny.
I think every industry needs to bring themselves down a notch.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want a doctor that's putting a fake folder of like nude photos all the way to what you do.
Yeah.
But I'd also appreciate a doctor that I could like share a laugh with and not be like, oh, doctors in the room.
Yeah.
There's a level of humanity that I think a lot of us miss by trying to be who we think we need to be.
Yep.
As opposed to just being who we naturally are.
Yeah. Yeah. Another great example of this, we have a client that buys and sells gold jewelry and all kinds of different things. And so we did a video that's going viral for him right now, where he got like a giant bag of gold teeth out of people. And so he's picking these things up with his hand and putting it on the scale and stuff. And then at the end of the video, he goes, "This deal's finger licking good." And
oh my God.
Everybody goes, what? That's gross. I hope you washed your hands in between. And like, we did it on purpose, and it's exploding. So there's a lot of things that you can think outside of the box and work in your personality.
It's so powerful, man. And as we wrap this up, I want to know a couple things. One, who is the person on social that you follow the most that just you get nuggets from, whether it's learning how to edit a video, getting a creative idea? Like, who is that follow that you were to me, right? I needed to know you, which is what made me thankful for SocialCon, because I didn't know I needed to know you. Who is that person that people should go follow?
I've had there's a lot of people that I've really looked up to and watch a lot of their content to continue learn from. The first one that comes to mind is Gary Vaynerchuk, deeply inspiring to me. And I've just taken his advice and emulated a lot of what he's done, not just what he says, but what he does. And that's worked really well for me. You mentioned Sean Cannell at the beginning.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Think Media. I've looked up to that guy for a long time, and I just had the privilege of meeting him.
Very cool.
Yeah, social media marketing world, and he actually invited me on his podcast. So that was a huge life accomplishment for me. And then great YouTubers, Tim Schmoyer, Roberto Blake, Jeremy Vest has become a really good friend. I've seen him speak, and I learn a ton from him. There's so many people, but those are the first that come to mind.
Heck yeah, man. We'll link those down in the show notes. And fun fact, I guess it's not funny. Sean and I were both pastors.
Yeah. Cool.
And so I met Sean like back when we were pastors.
Oh, wow.
And then all of a sudden I find out that he's not pastor anymore because he's going to try to do what he's doing. And it just seems so weird and crazy and bizarre at the time.
Yeah.
And now it's unbelievable, what he's been able to do with YouTube, his books. And so the answer is start.
Yeah.
That's the key ingredient. And everybody I know that's doing incredible things online is they started. And so, bro, tell us before we finish, tell us about Syllabi, because I'm freaking pumped about it. It's solving a problem that everyone has, which is I don't know what to talk about. And then once we tell them what to talk about, I don't know what to say about it. And you're solving this through Syllabi.
Yeah. So it's addressing a lot of the biggest problems that I've seen working in the social media marketing space for so many years. Business owners know they need to create content, but they don't know what topics to create. They don't know what their customers are searching for. They don't know what to say in the videos. They need help staying consistent and accountable. They don't want to be on camera, or they don't like being on camera. They don't want to learn editing, and they don't have the time to post across all of it. And so what we're doing is, with the power of AI and some brilliant software engineers on our team, taking care of all of that. Wow. So right now, Syllabi shows you the questions that people are searching for in your industry, any industry. We give you a lot of data behind all of those questions as well. Then with a click of a button, you can generate a video script all around those questions for short form vertical video. So 30 seconds or 60 seconds long, or for YouTube, 2 minutes or 5 minute video scripts. You can add that onto a content calendar. We have it gamified so you can mark as complete, and it updates your percentage. So you're like, yeah, I did one. And then this week, actually, we're rolling out AI video creation, which is the next step in that process.
Okay.
So now with the click of a button, it takes that video script and it makes a video for you with a realist, like a human avatar with a realistic voice, saying the script, talking to your audience. And then the next step that we're working on is actual social media integration and scheduling. So you can take that video and schedule it out across all of your social media platforms. I'm removing every excuse to not be active on social media anymore.
Yeah.
In 2 months from, there's no excuse. You can do the whole thing in minutes.
Whoa. So as all that new stuff rolls out, I can't imagine that Syllabi.io stays $49 a month.
There will be different pricing tiers. We're always going to keep that plan. There's always going to be a free trial as well. Anybody can go and sign up for free. And then, there will be different pricing tiers with a credit allocation. So depending on how much you want to create and post on a monthly basis, you can pay more for more.
Now, those of us already in there and loving you while you don't have all of those things yet, do we get grandfathered in to anything?
There will be some grandfather process. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So everybody needs to go
Yep.
jump on syllabi.io and get signed up.
Absolutely.
So I'm not even going to ask, how do we follow you on social? Because that's easy, right? So you're easy to find. Actually, you weren't super easy to find because some of your handles are actually Socialty Pro.
Yeah.
So go search Socialty Pro, guys. You're Austin Armstrong on Facebook. Real quick, before we wrap up, you said, because I'm a Facebook guy. I love Facebook. Most people crap on it these days, but it is where currently you're putting a lot of your focus.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us real quick, like why that shift has happened?
Yeah. So about 9 months ago, they rolled out professional mode on personal profiles. And anytime a platform rolls out a new feature, jump on it because they're pushing it. And so I jumped on professional mode. And in 9 months, I've gone from just friends and family, and I think I had 5,000 followers or something like that, which was the most you could have.
Yeah.
I had about 810,000 followers in 9
Wow.
months. The reach on Facebook is astronomical right now. Post Facebook Reels, the same short form vertical videos, like if you're doing YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels or TikTok videos, just post them natively in the Facebook app. The reach is insane right now. They're trying to compete with TikTok.
Wow.
They're going on the offense, and it's a huge opportunity that's probably not going to be around forever.
Sure.
So, on it, you got to ride these waves of these platforms.
Guys, you heard it from Austin, who has more authority than me. So maybe you should listen to me, but if you won't, listen to Austin. Bro, thanks for being on the show with me.
Thank you for having me on. It was a privilege and an honor.
This has been super cool. Guys, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with a cool person with an even cooler story. See ya.